So if you didn't know, we just got some new named knee pads with a talent that redirects 50% of your weapon damage to other enemies. When I first saw these, my initial thought was to put it on a striker build so I could redirect maximum damage. I thought it would be good in situations when you have those annoying Black Tusk drone operators or those hyena RC car enemies just hiding behind cover in the back. You can just target enemies out in the open and eventually kill the enemies hiding with the redirected damage. It was cool and all, but really, you're not doing any more damage, and the redirection just makes your time to kill on the enemy that you're targeting go way up. Then I thought, well, if I put it on a one-shot build, since a one-shot build has so much excess damage, you could redirect it and maybe get 2 kills with 1 bullet. And that's where things started to get a little crazy. So with that, let's take a look at this one-shot build. Now I know there's a lot of different ways you can put together a one-shot sniper build, but I personally like the hotshot set. I like it because the 4-piece bonus makes it so when you hit your shots, you never have to reload. So this is what I like to use. So this is my normal setup. I've got a G28, a White Death, I got the Chain Killer, and I have the Gift backpack, and then I run 4 pieces of hotshot. So if I'm running the Turmoil Kneepads, this is what my new setup is going to be looking like. So everything is the same, except obviously the knee pads, and then the talent on the hotshot backpack is actually almost completely useless. So the Ninja Bike backpack is actually slightly stronger, so I'm going to be using that to get the 4-piece bonus on the hotshot. So with this gear setup I've got here, keep in mind that this build is absolutely juiced to the gills. So with the White Death, I've got full expertise, fully optimized, got determined here, the mask, fully optimized, Ninja Bike, Chain Killer, got the gloves, holster, and then we have the Turmoil Kneepads, which came God rolled. So now let's look at this striker setup just so we can get frame of reference of how this is supposed to work. So I've got the Fox Prayer knee pads. We're going to see how much damage the St. Elmo's does. Switch this so I can get my stacks up. Looks about 1.3 million to the head. So now let's switch the knee pads out for the Turmoil knee pads. Looks like about 608. Yeah, 608. So it's doing about half the damage, which makes sense because it's redirecting 50% of the damage. Now let's test the one-shot sniper. So for this Turmoil Kneepad, this crit chance and crit damage doesn't really help one-shot builds. It's just this weapon damage. So let me replace this with something similar. This has weapon damage, crit damage, so it's basically going to do the same thing. Let's see what kind of hits we get. So 5.4 million, 14.6, 21.5, 21.5, 22.6, do one more, 22.6, okay. So if 50% of the damage is going to be redirected, it should be about 11 million on the target that I'm shooting and 11 million on another target. So now let's put on the Turmoil and see what happens. Reset my determined stacks real quick. 3.3 million. 8.3 with a 9.4 tick. 15.1. 18.8 with a 20.9. 19.4 with 21.3. Same again. Same. 19.4 with a 21.5 million tick. So instead of splitting half the damage, I'm splitting almost the full damage. So let's put these two targets up real quick. and put them 25 meters from each other. Let's change this guy to a named enemy. So there's a named enemy with full health, and we just one-shot him by hitting the red. Did it again. We're hitting 19 million on the red and 22 million on the named enemy. So something weird is happening, but I'm not complaining. So let's take this out in the open world and see if we can kill some named enemies without actually shooting at them. So just waiting for the named enemy to spawn. Okay, there he goes. There he is right there. We shoot this purple, and we just one-shot him. And he dropped an exotic. Let's go take a look at what it is. Burly Knuckles. It's an April Fool's exotic. I think that's supposed to be Bloody Knuckles. Okay, this guy's being a nuisance. So once you get your damage ramped up, instead of one shot, one kill, it's actually one shot, two kills. And with the redirected damage, you can actually one-shot the named enemy without actually even shooting at him. It's crazy.
Reinforcements en route. Detecting additional hostile contacts.
It's gonna be like shooting fish in a barrel. 2 for 1. Oh, missed. And this turmoil is ridiculous. Okay, named enemy. Where is he? Shoot the yellow. One shot him. One shot him by shooting the yellow. This turmoil makes the one-shot build even crazier than it already was. Anyway, that's the new Turmoil Kneepads with a one-shot build. Let me know what you guys think. Have you used the turmoil with any other build that seems super good? Let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Civilians in danger. Heavily armored hostiles detected. Reinforcements incoming. Incoming hostiles detected. Hostile detected. Supply room access unlocked.